Hi YouTube, I'm about to make a video for you guys. I need to show you how I grid an image. Now this is going to be difficult for me right now because my camcorder is in repair. I've got an A4 sheet of paper in front of me. I've got the laptop with a photo of a man's face, and I'm just going to jump in and show you how I would do it normally, okay? Okay, I found this image on Google. This image will do just fine for this portrait. I don't think I'm actually going to draw it, even though I do think he's got, you know, kind of dominant features to draw. So, but there's a lot of skin detail, so I probably won't draw it. But I'm going to start with this picture. Okay, this is the site that I've been using for how long now? I've got it set up in my bookmarks. As you can see up there, it says sporkforge.com, imaging, grid, PHP. Now, it hasn't even got a www or anything. I don't really know how this works. It's probably because it's bookmarked. But anyway, this is what I use to grid an image. Now I'm going to jump straight in here and I'm going to choose a file. So I've chosen my file. Now I'm going to upload image. As you can see, you can upload maximum up to 2000 by 2000. I do like large images because they're very clear. Now, sorry if this is shaky, I'm holding it with one hand. This I kind of play about with. When it comes to the spacing, choose the spacing up here. Choose a number. I mean, let's say 100. Opacity, you know, 100 is when you see the lines dominantly, and the lower you go, the more faded out the lines will be. So you can choose what color as well, because depending on the color of the picture, maybe if there's a lot of yellow in the picture, you're not going to want to go for yellow. I don't go for light grey because most of the time I turn the picture black and white before I choose all of this part. So I usually go for green. As you can see, it's set on green. I don't really trouble any of this. I just stick with choosing my spacing. So I'm going to say 100 and I'm going to draw a grid. Okay, that grid actually seems okay to me, but the problem is, because it's going so close to the outside, I can't get a clear, a big square size there. So I'm going to change it slightly to maybe, I'm literally controlling the screen by looking in my phone screen. So this is really awkward. But I'm going to choose maybe 96. Let's just go for 96. And I'm going to go down, or I'll just press return. Okay, yeah, maybe that's about right. I'm just going to make this into a square the same size as this because I think it's about the same. Now let me just go across. Oh, no, wrong way. The other side, as you can see here, if you look at the little arrow. Yep, the hairline and the ear is inside that square, so that will do just fine for me. I'm going to do the squares inside of this picture to make it look like it's got more space around the outside, I think. Let's scroll down. Yeah, I like to look for things like this line is just underneath the nose, even though it might block the. I actually need to see that line, so I'm going to change the opacity. Let's change it to 50. 5? Oh, I can't even see. Sorry, guys. Oh, 50. Okay, let's change it to 50. Yeah, it's faded a bit more, so underneath the nose I can see there. The lips, all the squares are in quite a good place. I'm happy with that. Has he got a hairy ear? Oh no, that's his sideburns. Okay, as you can see, there's so much skin detail there that would take a long time, but it would look really effective, so you never know. I might draw it one day, but for now, I'm going to get on with this. So that's basically how I grid a picture. I'm now going to right click on this picture, save image as, and just save it as whatever. And it should come up with it in Windows. There we go. That's the image saved and gridded. Now what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to crop this image. Okay, so I'm going to go up to crop. Now I'm going to crop it to the exact lines, just to make it easier for me. Yep. I think I'm happy with that. Is it going to the right? Yep. Sorry guys, I know I keep moving this camera, but it's just hard to see over my phone right now. There we go, it's cropped and ready to draw. Now I could turn it black and white, but then those lines are going to be black and white. No, I'm not going to do that. Hopefully you can see okay from there. I think this image is ready. Now we've got to pay attention to the fact that there's a certain number of squares going across and down. 1, 2, there's 10 across there. Okay, this is actually a complete square, which I didn't realise. Usually I would go up here, somewhere up here, before I grid it, and I would change the properties into an A4, just so that it's got the right proportions for an A4 or A3 or A5 or whatever, A2 size paper. But there's no need for that in this picture. This is just an example. So I'm going to draw this as a squared picture. So now it's just about measuring your paper and trying to make the right size squares to fit the size that you want on this paper. So I'm going to point you guys in a different direction and let's see how we get on now. I'm just sticking, measuring up the masking tape and sticking it down. If you remember on one of my videos, I showed you that I stick masking tape onto my clothes, whether it be jeans, leggings, it doesn't matter what kind of material. Just stick it down once or twice, all the way, and pull it up. And that should take a little bit of the stick off to avoid pulling up the paper afterwards and ripping it. It's worked for me, so that's how I do it. Just do that. Okay, this one's a bendy one. Let's check out the centimetres here. 29.7. That's 20.9. Okay, I'm going to measure down and then I'm going to find the middle. I'll do it this way first. Because they're even numbers, it's basically 10 squares going down, 10 squares going across. I want the middle one to be right in the middle, so I want it to be even each way. So I'm just going to find the middle of the paper. By across, it's 20.9. So I really want to find 10.45. 10.45 right in between. So it's right there. Aha, there's the middle of the paper. Now, got to do the same long ways, 29.7, which means I want to find okay, so this long ways is 29.7, so I've halved that and that makes 14.85. So I've measured down, I measured across here, found the middle. Now I want to find the exact middle. So down here I measured 14.85 to get to there and 14/85 to get to there. That's how you know you're right in the middle, smack bang, because all of my numbers in this square are going to be even. So let's rub out anything else that I've got there. That's basically how I find the middle of the paper, if necessary. Now from here, I'm going to decide what size I want my squares to be. Now, how many can I even fit across here to make it as wide as possible? Right, I'm going to make each one, let's say 2 centimeters each, to make it nice and simple. Let me just make sure I'm on the right point. 14.85. There we go, just we got an idea where we are. Like to be nice and even, straight lines. Actually, I'm gonna sharpen this pencil, nice and sharp. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use a different pencil. Haha. What number is this? 4H. I'm gonna use, to do these lines, I think maybe a, no, not 4H. I want to use like a HB, to be honest. Let's see if I can find an HB. Yep, found one. Now I'm going to use this sharpener just because it's nice and it's going to make a nice sharp point, which is perfect for doing this. If you want to know what sharpener this is, please watch my video on my art materials where this sharpener showed me up a bit. Okay. Now, so line it up with that dot and that dot. Let's have a look. Okay, remember I've decided to do 2 centimeters each. So I'm going to go from here all the way across to here. I'm putting almost no weight on here. I'm literally just almost loosely holding. You can see I'm not even gripping it. And just going over it a few times to make sure that line's there. There we go. Now, from there, we're going to go the same way. Let's start at 20 here. I mean at 10 in the middle. Once again, I'm going to make sure I'm in a right straight line across here. So I'm going to go 10 point, that's 20.9 across. So that will be 10.45 each way. Is that right? Yeah. Should be 10.45. 10.45. I should be there. And then 10.45, yeah. I do like to be very exact. You want your portrait to come out as exact as possible. This is the perfect way to get a portrait perfect, to get all the proportions perfect. And even the best of artists, I have to say, I never really believe when I see somebody, an artist, say that they've freehanded something and it's so complicated. I know it's possible, but there's ways you can really tell if they have. And I beg to believe that many artists can't actually do that. Regardless of how good you are at drawing, I believe I'm very skilled now in drawing, as I've been doing it for a long time, but I still need references, I still need guidelines, I mean I can freehand certain things, but you know when you want something to be perfect, or if you have to hurry it, you haven't got much time, you know, you've only got a certain deadline to get it done, you know, you want to hurry things up, so, and get it exact. So you know, when you rush you make mistakes. So yeah, gridding, I'm not ashamed to grid whatsoever, not at all. Right, that's the middle there. So I'm gonna let's find the middle here. Oh, why did I do them all the way up there? Start again. 14 point, no, not 14, what was it? 10.45. I'm gonna do it here as well. 10.45. And that'll do. So now, what's that dot? That little dot here, and this one here is my guide. So I'm gonna go this way so you guys can see. I'm gonna balance that at number 10 because that's what we're going with. No, I have to do it the other way. Sorry guys, the dots are in the wrong place. Could just move it, to be honest. Right, let's go down to 10. I'm going to go from here. I've lined it up with the dots. I'm going to go from here down to here. So from 0 down to 20. Remember, do not push down. Nice and lightly. Just as softly as you can. I like to use a HB, but you can use whichever one you want. I think that the harder grade the pencil, the higher the grade, which is like the lighter, you know, in the H's, when you go up to the H's, the pencil tends to push harder down on the paper and leave like an indent. So, you know, you really want to just touch the paper just to leave your mark, because after we will be rubbing them out. Okay, now I need to make sure I'm getting a straight line. Right, what I'm going to do from here, is mark each centimetre. So 1, let's go to 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. I'm going to do the same this way. Start again at that 10 in the middle. And we're going to go from the 20, 17, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. Okay, right, I'm going to do it again. From the 10, just mark from the 10 to the 0. From the 10 to the 0. Same down here, 0 to 10. Same down here, 0 to 10. Now I know where the lines are up there. I also want to measure them this way as well. So in line with that little dot. So 10. This is basically what I'm trying to do. Sorry, because I keep not explaining anything. But as you go and you figure it out. Right, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make sure I get the exact distance in a square. So once I've drawn that square, then I can follow these grid lines here. So I'm just trying to make it exact here, guys. So I'm going to go to the 10. I've marked the distance here, from here to here, here to here. Now I just need to make sure it's the same distance that way. Go to the 10. Line it up with those 2 dots at the side. Make sure the 10 is in the middle. Yes, it is. Now this dot over here is in exactly the right place, imagine that. This one needs to go out a little bit. So, there we go. Okay, and the same down here, 0 to the 10. Oh, there's a dot there, so let's keep it in line. Oh, that's exact. See, I'm learning to do it by eye. Good judge. Oh, and that one is exact. Imagine that. Okay, unless I already measured it, I don't know. But anyway, so now I'm going to match them up. That dot on the side to that dot on the side. Let's go. Remember, nice and lightly, people. Don't push down too hard. That part is really important. The last thing you want is when you rub out these grid lines, you don't want to have this very strong indent. You never really know if it's going to rub out properly, but we will see. All we can do is your best. Softly, softly. There we go. And from there down to here. I'll do it this way for you. From that dot over to this dot. Make sure it's exact. Oh, I'm past it. Same on this side. Right, now I'm going to grid the middle. Hold up, wait a minute, ain't nothing to it, do it. Two, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So down here. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, let's jump in with this gridding now, guys. That's the gridding done. What I like to do is go over it with the rubber eraser just to get rid of some of those lines. So all I'm going to need now is maybe this 4H pencil, nice and sharp, and an eraser, because we all make mistakes. Again, people make it out as though, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, I can't draw a thing. And I always think, well, we've all been at the same stage at one point, you know, learning to hold a pencil and whatnot. People think the reason why they can't draw is just because they can't, you know, when they try and draw a whole face, it's all in the wrong place. But there are ways that even artists, even highly skilled artists use. There's different techniques that they use to make that possible. Nobody's perfect, you know. When I freehand, I use the eraser constantly. And I was taught when I was young that when you draw, you really shouldn't use an eraser. But I just ignored that rule because I thought it was stupid. And I think I'm right. So I'm not trained, I've self-taught, so I do everything the best way I find to do it. No one's told me any other way. So everybody needs some sort of grid. If you grid a picture and you count where the boxes are and stuff, you can follow the guides. And with practice, anybody can draw. That's my opinion. Okay. Now I'm trying to actually draw wearing my glasses today. I've got pencil all over me now. I think that's from that eraser, but never mind, I always make a mess. Okay, I usually use a bit of paper to lean on, but at the moment I just don't care. So I'm going to jump in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the third one. Okay, so I say about here is where the corner of the eye is. How far in does it go? It's about up to there, I think. And straight across. Really crisp, clean picture of this guy's eyes. I love it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to speed this up. Should I speed it up yet, or should I let you see how I grid? I'm going to let you see how I grid. Might mean this video is a bit longer, but I guess that's what I would want to see. Back when I was trying to learn to do this and there was no videos on YouTube about it. So inside of this box, try to imagine another square, which creates another 2 boxes. Okay, this is what I do in my head, or you can just make loads and loads of squares, but that's quite long for me. Now then that one box has turned into 4. Now I try to imagine how close this corner of this eye goes to the middle. So let's say I can picture the middle of that square with my eye, and then I realise it goes up by about halfway. So actually that's about the right place. That's kind of how I do it. But this is just something that I imagine inside of the box. So basically, when I look at the reference image, I look straight into the middle of the box and I look at all the details around it and how close things are across from there and across from there. So I'm constantly, as an artist, I think you learn to measure everything off of everything. Every little crease in a face, you look at another crease here, and just to make sure you're in the right place, you cast your eye all the way across here and make sure that it's in line with something across this side that it's in line with. Then you line things up long ways. It's constant. If it's the eyeball and I start doing the mouth, as soon as I try to guess where I think the mouth is, I look up and measure from the eyeball, the pupil, down to the corner of the mouth and try and see whether it's in line. I'm always measuring with my eyes. It's very important to get the proportions right. Now I'm gonna go a bit quiet probably because I'm gonna be concentrating, but that box goes like that. I'm gonna put this light on. See if it makes any difference. How about if you switch the plug on, Marie? Genius. Yes, that makes some sort of difference. Brilliant. Now in the corner, kind of goes from there to around there, down here and inwards. Yeah, that's about right. So that's the way I'm gonna do it. Again, let's try and imagine a square there. Whereabouts is the eyelid? I'd say it's about there, and then you half that and that. Yep. I'd say it's about here. Now, it doesn't go straight, it curves. And it curves at an angle kind of like that. Sometimes it could be flatter, slooping up, slooping round. You have to pay attention to every little thing. And I think I'm going to speed this up in a minute because I'm probably boring you with all of this. Let me know what you'd like. If you'd like me to make one where I talk my way through the whole thing, and you can follow and copy as I do, maybe a cartoon or something so it's quicker, just let me know, guys. Just concentrating on where these things are, because the eye kind of dips from here, comes into about there, and then it dips there. The pupil's about here, and it dips down slightly, then it kind of rounds. I don't think it goes that low. Let me start again. Dips very slightly, and it curves. This one here is lower. It kind of goes more straight. I don't know what I've done wrong here. I think I've done this a little bit low. Kind of curves there, and it curves right up. That's right. And goes across. Okay, we got it. I think it goes up for about here. And it actually curves from here. And there's a slight little corner of white. Okay. The white of the eye, that part comes down like the middle, so I'm going to put that there. Goes a little bit more around here. And there's actually a black shape in the middle. I'm going to roughly draw it. And that goes down into a pupil that surrounds it here. Yeah. Okay, I can see there's some crown around here, so I'm going to do a rough grid of where it is. Also, I would draw that little white line here. It's very tiny, but it's very important because around this side will be very dark. A bit darker, sorry. And then in here will be a very solid white. That will be important later on. Okay guys, I'm going to speed this up now, but you should be able to watch the process. Okay, you can see that I've had to rub quite a bit out because I've had some problems with space on my phone. So I'm going to try and just make a time lapse of the rest of this drawing with my other camera.